So, now you've seen that. Now, I'm going to show you what I'm doing with the gardening. Right now, I am growing some cotton because I need it for the fabric. Normally, though, for my money making, I will alternate my bok choy with potato. Both of these are water retention. So they alternate down. Then, since the first one here is bok choy, my first one here would be potato, and then I'd run them down. That way, each and every one of these tomatoes, and I do alternating lines of tomatoes, is full water retention. The only thing I have to really worry about a little bit is weeds, and they don't grow too much. So they're not a big issue. Weeds would be more of an issue for long growing, like beans, blueberries, apple trees, things like that. So what that's allowing me to do is I'm producing a massive amount of tomatoes. My bok choy grows faster than my potatoes. The potatoes pick up from the bok choy, and then the tomatoes are multi-harvesting. This allows me to just continue doing this. See how many tomatoes and stuff. And I'm using all of this also for my worm beds as well. Tomato seeds will net me the most profit, and they take the quickest to produce. However, you can go through a lot of tomatoes, and that's why I have all the rows of tomatoes that I do. I always keep at least 300 fertilizers. Then when I do a round, I will come back and make sure that each one has the maximum amount of fertilizer on it. This way I just don't have to worry about continuously coming back and worrying about when something's going to come into bloom. And it's just, I go through a little bit more fertilizer, yes, however, it's still I've also found that certain plants will use more of a fertilizer than others. cotton seems to use twice as much as tomatoes per cycle. Like I'm using 2 fertilizers on the cotton and only 1 on the tomatoes. I'm not sure why it does that, but maybe that's intended. I don't know if it's a glitch. Since they both take up only 1 plot. There we go. I always try to keep my my bok choy, my potatoes, and my tomatoes up to 200. These are just standalones in case I need something like when I start farming. When I start raising my livestock and so on, I'm going to need that. I need these for making fabrics, that kind of thing. So I'm collecting up a small amount of other seeds in order to build those later as needed. And there's, for that little bit of time there's another 2,000 plus. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So, bok choy potato, row of tomatoes. Since you can do it the other way, but since my first one there is a bok choy, my potato would go here. That way each one complements the other running down. And you don't, because if I plant 2 potatoes or 2 bok choys next to each other, they're not going to work well. All of these are water retention, so they all help with the water retention, and they all interact with the tomatoes that are water retention. The bok choy, as I said, grows a little bit faster than potato. The potato grows a little bit faster than the tomatoes, but once the tomatoes hit, I'm doing multiple harvests off of them. So the rotations all work out fairly well. If I start getting things that are really spotty and it's going haywire, I'll simply let everything grow out, clean it, start a fresh plot, and replant everything in one cycle. Because they will eventually get out of cycle because of the various grow times. And that's basically it. So I'm not having to make preserves. I'm not having to do all this stuff. Yes, it will make me a lot of money at one time, but it's very time consuming. At least in my opinion. So there we are on that, and I'll catch you back on the next update.